Welcome back to DC Silver Age Storytime, and today's story comes from Action Comics 257, published in October 1959 with story by Otto Binder and art by Jim Mooney, and this one is called The Three Magic Wishes. Who can forget such thrilling fairy tales as Snow White and her magic mirror, Pinocchio and his long nose, or Cinderella and her fairy godmother? The children at Midvale Orphanage will remember them a long time, for these tales of fairy magic seem to come true one day. You can guess that Supergirl is behind it with a special reason for fulfilling the three magic wishes. So, Linda Lee is a bit older than the other children there, and so she's reading to them. So while poor Cinderella did all the housework, her selfish stepsisters went to the prince's ball. As Cinderella sat weeping in the garden later, there was a flash of light, and down flew the fairy godmother with her magic wand. And suddenly there is a face in the window. Look! A goblin face in the window. But it's only Tom Baxter playing with them. Bah, who believes in silly fairy tales? Look, I'm a fairy godmother. See my magic wand. Ha ha. Youngsters half believe in fairy tales. Tom's ridicule is like telling them too soon that there's no Santa Claus. Geez, Otto, I feel like with your target audience for these stories, maybe you should keep that one a secret. But she has a plan. And she flies out to a field with some adhesive tape and it covers herself with thistledown to form a gossamer gown. Then she takes a kite and unravels hundreds of webs, which probably doesn't make the spiders happy. And then she, I guess, makes fairy wings. The heat of my X-ray vision will form this discarded kitchen pan into a crown, and then she makes a wand out of a 4th of July sparkler and wraps it in aluminum foil. And she flies in. Look, Tom, if she can fly, she must be a real fairy godmother. Ah, somebody's playing a joke on me. I'll use this hula hoop and prove she's flying by invisible wires. But she is not. Now, at this point, I would think the kids would be like, hey, look, it's Linda Lee with with blonde hair and a fairy costume. But no, they apparently don't recognize their good friend Linda Lee. Wait, I still think it's trickery. If you're real, grant us 3 wishes before you leave. So she feels kind of like, all right, I guess I have to do this because I got to prove myself. So the first wish is make Peggy look real pretty in the magic mirror. You know, he wants Supergirl to make a magic mirror. Gosh, Tommy picked the plainest girl. How can I work it? But she remembers, so she lights her sparkler and blinds the kids, as she will do throughout the story, and remembers that Peggy's mother is actually quite beautiful, and so she takes the photograph and uses super pressure to change this normal glass into a magnifying glass. She hangs the picture up, and then as Peggy looks into the magic mirror, she sees the photograph that apparently she doesn't recognize of her mom. Why, look, it shows that when I'll be really pretty when I grow up. And Tommy says, not unless you grant me another wish. I'll give you another test outside, taken from the Cinderella story. So he wants the fairy godmother, or fairy princess, or whatever, to change this rabbit into a horse. So she sees, with her X-ray vision several miles away, or telescopic vision, a horse. And yet again lights the sparkler to blind the kids, releases the rabbit, and then unravels the cage. So it's a wire lasso, lassos the horse from miles away, and rather than slicing it in half, it yanks that horse all the way over. Look, the rabbit is gone, cage and all. The fairy godmother turned it into a horse. Now stand back, children. I must change the horse back into Johnny's rabbit by waving my magic wand. And then she blows the horse back. And apparently it will land on a pile of hay at the stable, which I think would still kill it, but apparently not. And then she reweaves the cage for the rabbit. I don't know how that cage was able to produce enough metal to create a miles-long lasso. So for his final wish, he wants her to create a magic string, an unbreakable magic string. And he says, ha, do you think that weak string will keep me tied up? Jeepers, I can't break the magic string, but it's no thicker than a hair. It is hair, so it's her hair, and she must have weaved quite a bit of it, but um, she uses her super fingernail to cut her hair and then create this spool of thread. You win, fairy godmother. Let me loose. I was only joking before when I said I don't believe in fairy tales. Joking? Oh, Tom, that's a lie. You must be punished for it in fairy tale fashion. I wave my wand. So yet again, she lights up the sparkler. I don't. I think sparklers usually work once, but maybe she really is magic. Then she takes some yeast dough and puts it on his nose. Using her little heat from her X-ray vision, she causes the yeast to expand. Jeepers, how long will my nose grow? Who knows, Tommy, but now it's time for me to go. But first, to use my sparkler like a whirling light to super hypnotize them. I'll remove the magic string and false nose from Tommy. Now, a super whispered hypnotic command. Remember, children, when you awaken, this will only seem like a dream. After the super fairy godmother returns to her everyday role of Linda Lee. Gosh, what a strange dream that was about the fairy godmother and her magic deeds. My nose isn't really long. Phew. Don't you want to hear Linda read the story of Pinocchio, Tommy? Some other time. I don't think Tommy will spoil fairy tale reading again. So this is kind of what Supergirl becomes. This is probably the most literal story related to it, where she becomes basically just magical. It's all explained through her superpowers, but she's just magic at this point. So that's the three wishes.